Good morning and welcome to Sunday special of Dr. Lamba's comments on Sikhism. Sikhism is a exclusive tradition which is not there in any other religion. Imagine reading a holy scripture continuously without break for 48 hours. And that tradition has been there since the religion started. This concept of continuous recitation of the Holy Scriptures is for all occasions, at celebrations, at condolences, at happy occasions, on sad occasions, and even otherwise as an expression of gratitude to the Almighty. It's a continuous reading of Guru Granth Sahib, the Holy Book, which is completed, as I said, in the limited time. There was a comment by Mr. Singh Jaspal of Mississauga asking why it's only for 48 hours. Well, it's more a tradition. There's no hard and fast rule. I remember when I was in Spain, I saw this Akhand Path continuously being read in Spanish translation for 72 hours. And as a part of this continuous reading, when you begin your reading, you continue reading until the next reader replaces you. So, there's not a break ever as far as the reading is concerned. And the people are supposed to listen to it. It's another thing now that in modern times, people hardly listen, except at some time. But otherwise, in the traditional way, the family members, or the friends, or the devotees would listen, and the recitation was supposed to be audible. Because when the recitation is not audible, there is every chance that the reader, the granthi, the priest who is reading it, may either fall asleep or might skip, which is sacrilege. So, when reading, of course, you have to keep the head covered. And this tradition of Akhand Path started with Guru Gobind Singh himself. When he completed the writing of Guru Granth Sahib, he had the Panj Pyara, the 5 members of the congregation, who had chanted the complete Granth to him non-stop for more than 2 days and nights continuously. And when I say continuously, you don't stop reciting it even in the night. So, when this was being done, the Guru Granth was being recited, Guru Gobind Singh was standing all the time for these 2 days and 2 nights. So much so that he stood there, listened to the entire Guru Granth Sahib without any sleep. Of course, people brought him water for his bath and he would take his bath listening to the recitation. He had his meals standing and listening to the recitation. This was the first Akhand Path, which was listened to attentively with complete devotion by Guru Gobind Singh standing. And the second Akhand Path was in Nader, that is in Maharashtra, where Guru Gobind Singh sent Banda Singh Bahadur to Punjab. Banda Bahadur popularly called, who was later on very successful in defeating large number of forces in Sarhand and the period, but ultimately he was captured and killed. And the Akhand Pathis, the reciters of Guru Granth Sahib, Bhai Gurbaksh Singh, Baba Deep Singh, Baba Dharam Singh, Bhai Santokh Singh and Bhai Hari Singh. And as a matter of fact, Bhai Hari Singh was scribe, writer of Guru Gobind Singh. It was his job to write the daily diary of Guru Gobind Singh. And Bhai Hari Singh's daily diary is an extremely useful source about the personality, the psyche, the thinking of Guru Gobind Singh. And before giving Guruship to Guru Granth Sahib, then called the Adi Granth, Guru held this Akhand Path and then proclaimed Adi Granth to be the perpetual Guru of Sikhs. Guru Granth Ji Manyo, Sarv Gura Ki Day. So he was the incarnation of the 10 Gurus. So for this tradition having been set up first in Anandpur Sahib, then in Nadev, the Sikhs started the tradition of dedicating Guru Granth Path to all activities. Before battles, the Sikhs would listen to Akhand Path Sahib and then prepare for the battle. And Akhand Path was arranged before the Sikhs set out to rescue the women who had been taken by ambush Abdali as slaves. In 1972, when Sikhs were in the jungles of Punjab, one Sikh woman warrior called Bibi Sundari requested, just before she died, she was wounded badly in a battle, and she wanted Akhand Path to be heard. And it was arranged, and she was awake all the time listening to the recitation. And when it finished, she died after receiving the sacrament. And thus began the tradition of rendering an Akhand Path within 48 hours. Guru Gobind Singh standing for 48 hours listening to it, Bibi Sundari lying on the deathbed listening to it, and then it became a tradition that you could not change it. And without recitation in 31st August specified, this is obligatory. As a matter of fact, Akhand Path is supposed to be heard loudly, clearly and correctly, as I said. It's mandatory for all persons listening to the Akhand Path to be able to understand the verses that are being recited. Mumbling, speaking in undertones is not permissible. I know some of you might have seen it, and then when nobody's listening, the reciter usually starts mumbling, but that's not supposed to be done. As a matter of fact, some persons rarely are to be found who understand the verses of Guru Granth Sahib, which are written in that language, Gurmukhi, including Landi Punjabi, Braj Bhasha, Khadi Boli, Sanskrit, and Persian. So, there's a complete system evolved. First person goes, takes the hukam. Hukam is at random Guru opening the Guru Granth, and whatever first catches your eyes, read it. That's supposed to be the command for the day. And when person starts reading it, reads for a couple of hours or 3 hours, they decide that. Usually 5 persons are supposed to be on duty, and they keep on changing. But many times other people also come. And as I said, when one person wants to go, other has to replace. The reciter puts his finger where he is reading, so the other person who is replacing it can read it. And then both recite together for a certain time. And when the volume comes to an end, at the end of that, then they pray to God and they ask forgiveness in case something has been mispronounced or misunderstood. Many times it can happen that the second reader may not arrive. So, what do? Usually they keep a bell or they keep a glass, metal glass, and a spoon to inform somebody. And same is done if you have to attend the call of the nature. Now, as a matter of fact, some people always have to be there, and most of them can read and understand Guru Granth Sahib. And this recitation. Now, the point is, in this age of hurly-burly activity, how do you dedicate 48 hours to one activity, leaving aside all other jobs? This is a matter of conviction, matter of faith, and matter of belief. And I have seen people who attend to the Akhand Path ceremony absolutely in a dedicated manner. Forget everything else at that time and ensure that the Guru Granth is recited and listen to in all humility, with repetition, without any break. As a matter of fact, there are two purposes, or rather three purposes. One is to create an atmosphere that is holy, that is pervasively peaceful and calm. It's a matter of fact, it's a respite from the hurly-burly life, and it's a communication with spiritual aspect of the man. It's a meditation for 48 hours. It is break from the routine so that you are mentally, morally are prepared, and even physically. This rest, physical rest for 48 hours, reinvigorates you. And then it strengthens the confidence. The believers who are firm believers in Sikhism and in Guru Granth and in belief in God, they think that by reciting this for 48 hours, they are energized. You know, mentally they are, psychologically also they feel energized. And that's why this is right before undertaking any enterprise. You will see the Sikhs starting a business, buying a house, anything. They'll first have Akhand Path, and then at the end they'll say, God, we seek your permission to do so, and please bless us that we do so. Marriages, deaths, births, and as a matter of fact, many people celebrate their birthdays by Akhand Path. I remember my dad used to do it every year at the time of Dussehra, because his birthday was the Dussehra day. 3 days before that, Akhand Path would be held in the family. Friends would be there, friends, relations would be there. And on the last day, after 48 hours, where the prayers were held, everybody would join. And after that, the meals would be served in the shape of a langar. And people will pray for the long life and the prosperity and everything. So this sort of a social communion. Now, this tradition has certain advantages, as I said. A, it strengthens you. B, it gives you much needed rest. As a matter of fact, it can be taken as a departure from the normal routine of life to meditate, to think of more sublime things. I'm not concerned. I mean, there have been complaints at some times, and some people, ragis, reciters, were arrested while they were reciting Guru Granth. In fact, they were just mumbling, they were not reciting it, and they were doing other jobs. But then, the sanctity of the believers cannot be questioned. So this is in fact a mental, psychological exercise of meditation and a break with the normal routine. As a matter of fact, when you break with a routine, it always energizes you, strengthens you, and this is a moral strengthening apart from the physical. Secondly, it's a social thing. When this tradition started, this was the best social affair. But 48 hours you are interacting with a friend, you are interacting with a religious, and at the same time you are meditating. All talk of materialistic aspect is ignored or is supposed to be ignored. So it strengthens the family life, it strengthens the clan relationship and the social intercourse. Then another benefit is that it strengthens your resolve to be better human being. You know, music by itself understands a vibration. And as I told you, this whole Guru Granth is based on 31 ragas, the ways of music. And when the vibrations of the different forms of music are sending different signals to your body. And when you are wrapped in attention, they energize you, they awaken your capabilities to do better. So that way, this has a multi-pronged effect. And as I said, this tradition of 48 hours continuous, unbroken recitation is something exclusive to Sikhism. Not only that, when you are reciting, you are burning agarbatti, frankincense. That perfume, that smell by itself has a calming effect. You are in a fragrant, peaceful, calm environment, able to concentrate and able to interact. Can there be anything better? I think this sort of a tradition has immense value, spiritually of course, socially and psychologically. This multifaceted tradition keeps on being observed by all the devotees, irrespective of the job they are doing. And as I said, being exclusive, it has a certain charm. It has a certain beauty, inherent beauty in it. You have to be participant to imagine that. Thank you.